Highlight leading 20-0 here in Orlando. Another commitment for you coming up later. Beautiful day in Central Florida. 20-0. Team highlight in the Under Armour All-American game. We welcome you back to the Under Armour All-America game presented by American Family Insurance. Here at the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, 20-0 your score. Team highlight over Team Armour. And now we tell you about our Under Armour matchup of the game, which has been pretty one-sided.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary versus Team Armour offensive line. Watch the hand usage. He never lets offensive linemen get their mitts on him. The continual motor, the effort. If you do not block to the whistle, you are in trouble because Rashawn Gary is going to play to the whistle. You see him here spin out of the block, get the eyes on the quarterback, and chase him down. It has truly been an outstanding performance thus far, and really, he has really done everything to prove that he is the #1 prospect in the nation.
The impact meter we've used throughout the year, how quickly can he get involved in college?
Normally don't like to do an impact meter for an undecided player, but I'll tell you this, Tom, regardless of where he goes, you'll find a way to get him on the field. You will find a way to use him. I think that, and never like to give out a 10. You're basically saying a first-team All-American is your freshman year, but Rashawn Gary's got a chance to step onto campus and find a way to contribute in a big way.
A little crease there for Devwa Whaley, who committed earlier on today to Arkansas, and second down coming up.
You know, you look at all these players and you're trying to project what they're going to do, whether they're going to have an impact. And when you move on to the next level, you're away from home for the first time, and you're having to be responsible for your own time, academically, socially. You've got to make good decisions. You're around foreign people, and then you're expected to perform. I think that's what really makes a guy as a freshman who does play, it really gives you an idea of what they're capable of handling from the neck up.
Whaley again, and he has a first down.
And building on that, Tom, he had his mother on set during the practices earlier in the week, and we asked her what would go into the decision process, and we talk about the little things. She goes, I want him to go someplace where he envisions himself going to class,
right,
being comfortable.
If he didn't have football. No, I tell you one thing, this big group you're seeing right here in white, that front has been far superior from an offensive perspective to Team Armour's offensive front. They've been able to control the line of scrimmage. They've been able to minimize negative plays and move the football in the run game, something that Team Armour has struggled with in their offensive line.
It's been all Whaley so far. He's tackled by Edwin Alexander, the LSU commit, so a couple of SEC guys doing battle there. And it's tough sledding to have a highly rated recruiting class within the SEC.
Well, listen, those teams, you look at Arkansas, they're making inroads, starting to improve. Mississippi State getting better and better each year. A lot of people thought they were going to have a down year. They didn't, because they're starting to develop depth as well.
I mean, if you're 34th in the country and you're last in your division, that is difficult times. Quick throw from Haskins. He's got a catch for A.J. Brown, who had a 52-yard run after the catch earlier on, and Rashawn Smith with the tackle, who will commit later on in our game.
Well, you make that point about a class rank about a Mississippi State. Well, look at Mississippi State's preseason rank going into the season on the gridiron and the type of season they were able to finish up with. So, again, it might be indicators, aren't necessarily the end-all, be-all as far as being accurate. It's not an exact science, certainly far from it.
Saw Rashawn Smith, Auburn, Clemson, LSU, still available for him, for his choices as to where he'll go to school, or at least commit, as we walk you up to Wednesday, February 3rd and National Signing Day. Little trickery. Devin Duvernay, the Baylor commit, is hit back at the 45-yard line. Great read defensively by Team Armour on that play. Shavar Manuel got involved, and Ellison Jordan as well.
Tough to run that play, Tom, when you have two defensive linemen camped out in the backfield. He runs past the Penn State commit, Ellison Jordan, got past the other Penn State verbal, Shane Simmons, and as soon as he turned the corner, bam, he got met.
You talk about a motor. Now, Ellison Jordan, He lacks stature, measurables. He's on the shorter sides, but that size also helps with his leverage and his pad level, and he is ultra quick. I think 6'2" is extremely generous. I wish I was 6'2". So I will say this: his performance certainly outweighs his measurables.
I'd like to raise mine too if we're giving out
7'1" just for the remainder of this game. Haskins gets it away to the 45, and B.J. Emmons will dance. Emmons across the 40. Flag down as well.
Spectacular play there by B.J. Emmons just to not only make the catch, but then make the first defender miss and get down the sideline.
You are listening to The Station with A. Screen O'Boom. Thanks for tuning in to the 2016 All-American Under Armour game.
5 yards.
Continue listening.
ESPN Tracker will tell us about the physics of that reverse that Team Highlight just ran. You see the speed up top.
And Devin Duvernay, he can fly. This young man, 100-meter state champion, 6A classification in Texas. I don't care how fast you are. When there's nowhere to run, speed doesn't matter.
That's exactly right. And that's a welcome penalty as well for this Team Armour defense who had played pretty well the previous two downs.
Just leave a message below.
Gainer,
I will see
luckily
it, and
negated by the penalty
live.
here as it backs up Team Highlight. Team Armour needs to get this ball back if they want to get competitive here in the second half.
He ran nearly 40 yards on that reverse, by the way, Duvernay, says ESPN Tracker. Devwa Whaley with the catch, gain of 4, so third down on the way.
And Baylor fans, Duvernay, commit to them. They're finally some offensive weapons are coming in.
Thank goodness.
We're going to be able to put some points on the board.
I will say this, that is a team, and having broadcasted several of their games this past fall, had they not had the injuries they had, they were as good as anybody in college football at full health. And it's because of players like Devin Duvernay, and they're going to be losing Corey Coleman, and certainly they're a spread team that can run the football. They're physical. They're quarterbacks. If they stay healthy, we know that they're special. Even Jarrett Stidham, who filled in for Seth Russell, an Under Armour All-American in this game a year ago, came in, played well until he got injured. Baylor getting a lot of talent to wake up.
A little miscommunication there, and you're talking about Duvernay as well. A good family, too. First cousin is Kyler Murray, who's been in the news quite a bit with the
Yes,
Texas A&M transfer. Fourth down for Team Highlight. The defenses have very much won the day so far.
And that is traditional in an all-star game. Coach Herm Edwards said that even going off, that it's always a little bit more difficult for offenses to find their rhythm. We've seen, actually, I think, Tom, more running in this Under Armour game than we have seen in previous years. But a lot of times those defensive linemen, they're pinning their ears back. They know they don't have too many run responsibilities. They got one thing in mind, getting after the quarterback.
So a penalty against Team Highlight and Steve Mariucci on that sideline. You know, he gets in the mode. It's an all-star game, but you can see the coaching angst there.
You never stop the competitive juices from flowing. I can assure you of that. And he loves working with the kids. He has such a good time coming in. He's our keynote speaker at our banquet each and every year. Does a great job.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense, 5 yards, still fourth down.
See Steve Mariucci there talking it over with assistant coach there for Team Armour. One of the things we do here with the event is 2 NFL head coaches, NFL coordinators on both sides of the ball, and then high school head coaches that coach the individual positions each and every year here.
Special teams have been strong today. Gardner, no chance at a return. Dom Maggio, a 52-yard punt, no return. Team Armour backed up inside the 5. Doesn't feel like winter here, certainly in Orlando. 20-0, Team Highlight with the lead.
Hand-eye coordination, and I like to succeed at what I do, so I stay away from them.
He's got them chubby digits still. The sausages aren't well with the B button.
Matt Fink, the USC commit quarterback, is in, and a near safety Miles Sanders escapes and gets to the 11-yard line. I mean, you see the kids playing PlayStation, and soon some of them will end up in the NFL just a couple years later. I mean, this game has a great reputation for providing future NFL talent.
And those PlayStations in the player lounge, a place where they all get together, and all these prospects going through really what could be a tough and crazy process, and all of them kind of getting to trade stories. Also a little bit of recruiting between the two of them there, between all the players. Some of the guys that we've talked about, Chauncey Gardner, talking about his ability as a recruiter.
Sanders again. We've heard from a lot of Penn State commits recently with Simmons and Ellis and Jordan on the defensive line. And here's Sanders, the number 6 running back, on that carry.
If they're Saquon Barkley, true freshman, had a great year. Now you bring Miles Sanders into the mix. We talked about E.J. Emmons' hands. Miles Sanders also brings it. He could be an outstanding third down back. He could really be utilized in different ways to get both him and Barkley on the field at the same time.
Well, the 4 backs on hand here, Miles Sanders is the most dynamic when it comes to versatility and a passing game skill set. Very exciting for Penn State fans. Between him and Shane Simmons, really impressive high-quality guys that are coming to State College.
On first down, just a couple of yards. You guys are talking about some players that go directly to college and have big years. Josh Rosen, one of them. Calvin Ridley, certainly in the college football playoff.
Well, he was the number 1 receiver in the ESPN 300 a year ago, stepped into college, and performed as such.
He's a faster version of Amari Cooper, in my opinion, having spent so much time around both of them from high school through to college, seeing them move on. You see Ronald Jones there. Quietly breaks Charles White's freshman rushing record at USC, and that's with having Justin Davis, an upperclassman, return to the Trojans roster. So some very exciting young prominent guys making an impact early.
All Under Armour All-Americans as Drake Davis finds his way upfield. We're talking about the players in the college football playoff. Last year in this game, Calvin Ridley, and now December 31st. 2 touchdowns in the college football playoff semifinals. Christian Wilkins turned into an offensive/special teams force after a huge year last year in this game.
And we're gonna have to make a dual threat defensive tackle category.
Yeah. Look at him tightrope the sideline, the big fella. I love it, boy. Calvin Ridley now, I don't know how you're going to match up with him one-on-one, and he's spectacular when contested on the 50-50 ball.
His brother in this game this year, Calvin Ridley, Fink on the run. And he has the first down. I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg, though, for Calvin Ridley and a guy like Christian Wilkins.
Well, it really is. And Calvin's younger brother, Caven Ridley, taking part here today as well. A little bit bigger, a little bit of a different type of receiver than Calvin. And if you look at Clemson and you look at where their difference makers have been, everybody wants to talk offense. It's Shaq Lawson. It's Christian Wilkins. It's Grady Jarrett from last year. And all the players that they had up front, that's what's gotten Clemson to take that next step. And it started with that 08 class in Daquan Bowers.
We'll see later on if Rashawn Smith adds to that Clemson defensive front 7. He'll be announcing with Matt Schick down on the field shortly. Fink for a deep ball into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, the big safety out of the state of California. Now, when we say big safety, safeties look like linebackers now. Big, rangy player that can play in the nickel as a hybrid linebacker, can also play in the strong safety role. And I'm not sure from Drake Davis, Craig, if this was supposed to be a post or down the sideline streak route. If it was a streak, it's a poorly thrown ball. It is either way with safety over the top help.
Here's Herm Edwards.
Jack, going deep, read the quarterback. Intercept the ball. Intercept the ball. Intercept the ball. Intercept the ball. Intercept the ball.
Thought he might have to say it a 6th time in order for it to
Lamar
actually
Jackson
happen.
takes his coaching well, right? Coach told him to pick it off. He did just that. Lamar Jackson, uncommitted. He's already taken all 5 of his official visits. Said he may still try to get to Oregon, USC, UCLA unofficially before making his decision.
You are listening to The
Antonius
Station with
Clayton
A Screen
and
Boom.
Oliver
Don't
together
hesitate
with Trey
to
Threat
contact
as
us
well
on
in the
Facebook,
backfield
or you
on
can
BJ
chat here live.
Evans,
Just
that
leave a
defensive
message
line
below,
for Team
and I
Arbor
will see
keeps
it.
turning.
Ed Oliver, number 11. Mikel Carter, number 90. He's really been outstanding throughout this weekend. Out of the state of Georgia, I really think he's one of those players, and I first watched on film. There wasn't a lot of buzz about him, but he could be a potential difference maker. And Ed Oliver, part of that H-Town takeover out of Westfield High School there in the Houston area. His brother also is a sophomore on the Houston Cougars team, and his old high school head coach Corby Meekins also on staff there. So a lot of reasons for Big Ed Oliver to stay close to home.
Timeout with an injury. Shavar Manuel down for Team Armour.
Another